Hi,
Testing,
gang.
testing.
Yes, yes, yes. The gang's all here.
Hello.
Yeah, we didn't have any sound for your intro there.
That that's annoying. I thought I had sorted that all out in the test streams I did. So, well, when I was sitting down in the chair and looking at the camera, I was saying I glanced up at the camera and said, "Oh, it's you, Tube."
Classic.
Merry Christmas and welcome to my unfinished journey. Okay. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. Well, the first stream is the first stream, and it's going to have issues.
Yep.
Yeah, my strategy is to not have a first stream.
Well, no, see this is like part of the tradition of the Christmas marathon that we always have to have somebody on who has never streamed before.
So I'm the one
I
popping
think
my
it was
cherry.
2 years ago we had somebody cancel, and I had to teach Stephanie how to work StreamYard and have her ready to run a stream in less than 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, she's pretty smart. She can do that stuff.
Yeah, we got her to start on time. Most of the audience never knew anything had happened.
All right. So I guess I'll start by introducing myself. I am Journey. With the channel My Unfinished Journey. And I am the unfinished journey is specifically about my journey from Christianity to atheism. But it's also just a life journey of learning in general. And we'll talk about the topic in a minute here, but Jenny, go ahead and introduce yourself.
It's me. It's Ernest T. Hi, all you folks know me out there. I'm here to ruin yet another hour of your life, and I hope I only embarrass myself a little bit this time. And Merry Christmas if that's what you're into.
Yeah, panel embarrassing themselves is good entertainment for people, so.
Yeah.
So let us just hope that your journey remains unfinished for quite a while yet.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm. Let me check my pulse. Yeah, I'm not dead yet. So yeah, the journey isn't over yet.
Stool. We are blessed by Stool's presence.
Oh,
Yay!
Cool.
We are blessed
Purple,
by a
introduce
dancing
yourself.
stool.
Now, who's this ruffian down at the bottom of the column here?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose everybody is going to know who Purple is because of the current streamathon. So yeah, I'm Tapiocaweasel. It's probably my fault. Just like whatever.
Everything weird tonight is my fault.
I mean, that's not how. See, the whole reason people have a weasel on the panel is it's a built-in person to blame, scapegoat, weasel, as it were. And this is I've been faithfully weaseling my way out of those situations for a few years now.
Well, a weasel did bring down the Hadron Collider.
Yeah, we are a proud people.
I do have a question though. What does tapioca have to do with weasel?
Exactly.
Weasels taste like tapioca. Haven't you ever licked one?
No.
I feel unsafe. No, nothing. The two nouns have nothing to do with each other, which I think is poignant.
I think that you have never tasted a weasel.
I'm not a cannibal.
I am.
Hey, cannibalism solves two problems at once. It reduces overpopulation and helps world hunger.
I mean, okay.
So, moving right
You'll
along.
have to forgive Purple. She did spend a lot of time living in Michigan.
So, I see Ember in the chat asking, "What's this about your dad's science?" And that brings us to the basket of the 3 baskets of apples that we see here. My dad was a research engineer for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And the main thing he worked on during his time there was a non-destructive method of quality control for different agricultural products. And the specific technique that he used was something called diffuse reflectance spectroscopy, which are a few $5 words. The spectroscopy is the measuring. The diffuse reflectance is the phenomenon. It's specifically the phenomenon of shining light through something and measuring what comes out the other side as the light scatters as it goes through the thingamajig. And diffuse reflectance is kind of a subset of a larger category called absorption spectrometry. Generally speaking, with absorption spectroscopy, you're shining like a white light through something and measuring the light that comes out the other end. With diffuse reflectance, you're shining one specific frequency, so you're getting coherent light, and so you're usually using like a laser, like a laser pointer that you play with cats. And I will. Oh, geez, Louise. I'm having to. Okay. I'm switching apps, and that is a bigger drain on my computer's resources than I expected. So that's my dad there.
Hi, Dad.
Whoa.
He looks like Isaac Asimov.
Without the sideburns. But yeah,
Well,
I can see that. And so and to showcase the example of this, I put some different, some different, fruits and things, in my bathroom where I could control the light and have it real dark and everything. And you see me there holding my coherent light source, which is a cat toy laser pointer. And those are the things that I was pointing the light
various
at.
fruits lined up.
Yep. And we'll notice, like with the big things, like the two apples, the light's gonna go in one side, and it doesn't really penetrate through. It doesn't really come out the other side, at least not that you can see visibly.
Yep.
And so I'm doing the best I can to show both sides of the item. That's the two apples. Now with the grape, that you can see the light going all the way through, pretty easily. And I'd like to clarify at this point that, although what my dad worked with was diffuse reflectance spectroscopy, I don't have access to the kind of instruments that actually do the measuring. So I can't show you the spectroscopy. I can just show you the diffuse reflectance. Then we got a strawberry here. And we got an egg, and I think what gave my dad the idea for this is a technique called candling eggs, where you hold like a candle, hold an egg up to a candle, and and my dad grew up on a farm, so he knew about that kind of stuff. And it was like, and I think the thought process may have been, gee, I wonder if something like candling can be done to things other than eggs. And with the coherent light, gave him an avenue to do that. And I don't know that that it ever took off in the agricultural world as a quality control measurement, but that that principle of analyzing diffuse reflectance, I think that is being used currently in oximeters, which use like a red LED. And there's an LED like on one side, and the thing seeing which is your finger, so it's got an LED on one side and a sensor on the other side, and it can tell by analyzing diffuse reflectance of your finger what your oxygen blood percentage is.
Yep.
And how that connects to Christmas is, now the careful observer may notice that this, well, okay, how we get to the three baskets of apples is, this picture we see here was kind of an early proof of concept experiment where all of these apples were initially green, and they were put through the testing that my dad pioneered, and they were sorted into these baskets based on when they were predicted to ripen by, and you can see each basket is at a different stage of ripeness. And so that was, that kind of proof of concept, I imagine was probably useful in terms of getting grant money. Hey, we know this technique works. Let's apply it to other things also.
So they weren't looking. Sorry, they weren't looking at like the color of the skin. They're looking at the light that goes in, bounces around inside, and then comes out to tell you something about the state of development of the flesh in the apple.
Exactly. And this was used to measure things like sweetness in melons, and could detect hollow heart in potatoes, and all sorts of things that normally you'd have to cut the thing apart to find out what's on the inside. But with this technique, it was a way of measuring those kind of quality concerns non-destructively, and that way, conventionally you'd be destroying, say, 1% of your crops to get a statistical look at how percentage wise how many of your things have this problem. Whereas with a non-destructive method, you can test every last one of them. So anyways, so this picture was kind of an important picture for demonstrating the kind of things that my dad's technique could do. And the careful observer may notice that this picture is framed. My understanding is that my mom got this picture framed for him, and every year for Christmas, my mom would give my dad some sort of cutesy apple themed knickknack, and through the years I've retained a few of them, like this apple themed bird feeder, and my mom also did needlepoint, so she made this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Cool.
And geez Louise. And that's and that's kind of the presentation, so to speak. So
What does this technology have to do with making a cat happier?
I would say that I would say that playing with cats is a fringe benefit.
I see. Okay.
Well, what is the point of doing anything that does not make a cat happier?
Well, now there's another question there. What if you took one of those little laser things and you put it in a cat's ear? Would its eyes glow?
Actually,
only if the cat is ripe.
Actually, I have seen people like hold a flashlight to the top of a cat's skull, and you see red light glowing out through its eyes.
Well, that's their demon switch.
Yeah, you were talking about candle egging or egg candling.
Yeah.
Which I had not actually heard of before. So I looked it up, and there's some pretty, right? It was pretty cool stuff. I mean, that's basically like what X-rays are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different wavelength of light.
It's amazing what you can do with light. Light's pretty cool.
Actually, a different form of radiation. Light is radiation before it's light.
Okay, yeah.
Electromagnetic radiation.
Yeah, just a different point on the electromagnetic spectrum, different frequency.
Yep.
Indeed.
Hey, is that what's going on with Rudolph's nose?
I think that's just a virus or something. I think
I thought it was a tumor.
I thought he got a laser pointer stuck up there.
Yeah. Rudolph has been unavailable for examination.
Never put anything in a hole that you can't get it out of.
It's why you got to have a flanged base.
Hey. The story of Rudolph teaches us an important lesson. Any difference will be persecuted unless it is exploitable.
I mean, I feel like then it's just a different type of persecution, right? Exploitation is still a type of persecution, almost.
Yeah, but if they're paying you for it, they'll claim it isn't.
Okay, fair.
I think its main definition is capitalism.
Yep.
It's nowadays when people think about like coherent light going through turbid media like apples and biological stuff in particular, there's a whole new field. Well, it's not new per se, but using modulation of the wavefront of the light. So the nice thing about lasers and coherent light is that all of the waves of all of the different photons and everything, the electromagnetic wave is it has a very well-defined relationship to it across the wave. And whereas normal like light from just a random like incandescent like light bulb or something like that doesn't really. If you happen to know exactly what the electric field is doing at one little spot, then even very, very short distance away, like what you don't know much of anything about what's going on. But with coherent light, with lasers, then you do know. And because of the way light interferes, you can try and engineer these waves so when the waves go through and they hit a bunch of stuff and they scatter and produce these various reflections, if you sort of arrange your input light just right, then you can get it to behave even after it's going through all this sort of random scattering material in a way where you still preserve, you can still like, you can make light go further, you can make it bend in a certain way inside of something, and you can really probe a lot further into things than you can just by shining a light on it. Because if you just shine a light on it, then the intensity is going to attenuate exponentially as you go further and further in. But if you modulate the wavefront of the light, then you can sort of bypass that. And so there are these things called spatial light modulators. I actually use one at work, not for this particular purpose, but for going like far into blurry materials. But we use it just to like sort of as a electronic kind of micro customizable mirror. And it's technology that's being looked at to like do spectroscopic measurements of tumors and stuff that, you know, are non-invasively. So it's a really cool technology that a lot of work and research is sort of going into. And our lab does a little bit of sort of like related stuff. Like we've developed some algorithms for how to take, you know, you have your laser beam that you're starting with, and then you want to imprint some phase on it, so then it does what you want over here. And our lab has actually published some papers, and we've got one in progress that are sort of some state-of-the-art algorithms for how to do that computation, because it's very widely applicable, and something that is only going to be very useful going forward. I actually did a trimester long sort of independent study in undergrad on this topic, and I used a little digital micromirror device that it's basically, it's a mirror but with thousands and thousands of tiny individual mirrors that can either, you know, be on basically or off. And if you just turn the certain ones on, then the light will diffract as it hits it. And I wrote some code that would sort of go through and try out some algorithms to like figure out which ones were on and off. And then I put like a piece of paper between it, and I tried to get the light to still like go through without being all scattered. And it was one of the proudest moments of my life when it worked. It actually, the experiment worked the very first time I tried it. And I was like, no way. It blew my mind. And then I tried it again, and it didn't work the second time because like the part of my code that was like wrapping stuff up at the end of the program, like that part had a bug. But everything up to like the important physics part all worked. It was one of the proudest moments of my life.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, Regios is in here thinking I'm going around probing people.
Nope.
And Maya's in here trying to ban me.
Yeah, I did not sign up for any probing.
I mean, aliens do what aliens are gonna do, okay? Like you can't tell Bashar that he's not gonna get your probing, okay?
So weasels do have a long, slender, somewhat tapered shape to them.
Yeah, weasels are the smallest carnivore.
And also, somewhat dangerously, they do not have a flanged base.
Yeah, you know, you're not winning me over to this idea.
So did your dad spend was he a spectroscopist? Was he a agricultural scientist? What exactly?
So
did he work on apples, or did he work on like lasers and spectroscopy?
So his PhD was in agricultural engineering, and he kind of his idea was to build machines to test different different kinds of ag products. And he had read about diffuse reflectance, and he like the blurb in the textbook that tells you what diffuse reflectance is. It's like, hey, this seems like it would be useful. So he went to look up the literature that went into further detail on diffuse reflectance, and there wasn't any. So that was when the family had settled in Maryland, and we packed up and moved to Indiana so he could get his doctorate at Purdue.
What year was this?
This was so I was born in 66, and he finished his doctorate around 72, 71 or 72, thereabouts. And he and his doctorate was basically researching what diffuse reflectance does. And he was he was kind of a pioneer in the field of near infrared spectroscopy.
Yeah, because I have a book here. This is a fairly well-known book in the field, Atomic and Laser Spectroscopy by Alan Corney.
Okay.
And it's from I guess 76. Which I guess is, did you say 72 is when he was doing his doctorate? So I guess right around there. This I bet this would have had some stuff in it that would have been like relevant, but it's also a little bit more about like atomic physics and stuff as opposed to materials.
Right, because you're an astrophysicist.
Certainly. But yeah, it's one of these books though that like it's written in this sort of like old timey kind of well, I can't do it because my virtual background, but this is typeset before LaTeX was a thing, so everything is very old school looking in this. But they got these great little diagrams of basically like the basic idea of like spectroscopy is you shine a light on a thing, and then you either look at the stuff that goes through it or the stuff that bounces off of it. And for reflectance, you look at the stuff that bounces off of it, but a particular type of the stuff that bounces off of it. Because like can you put up the picture of the apples again? Because the diffuse part is pretty important there, and because there are two aspects to reflectance. There is the diffuse part and there's the specular part, and the specular part is sort of the it's sort of like the shiny part. It's the part that acts more mirror like.
Well, you have to make sure you diffuse all your apples. You don't want them exploding in your kitchen.
I'm pretty sure that the two diffuses are spelled differently.
Yes. There's diffuse.
Isn't that how they make applesauce?
Yeah. Instructions unclear. Accidentally joined the bomb squad. But so on the picture that you had of the apples, they're particularly on the right hand side, you can see how there are the sort of shiny hot spots that you get.
Yeah.
And that's the specular stuff. That's sort of like if you were to polish the apple, or like, cover it in, a sheeny oil, then more stuff is just going to bounce right off the surface. And that's not the part you want.
Yeah.
You want the part that's gone in and been scrambled.
Yep, exactly.
And so part of the problem would be like, how do you remove the signal that you get from the specular portion, and focus on the diffuse portion? Because if the specular portion is shining right into your detector, then typically, or quite often, that's going to be a really, really strong signal that kind of can mask out the rest of your signal. And one of the ways that this can be done, one fairly trivial way, is with polarization. If laser light is typically fairly well polarized, oftentimes you have to actually go through like a little bit of work to depolarize it, and even then it's not really actually like kind of depolarized because it's still coherent. But yes, so this is basically how polarized sunglasses reduce glare, because the light, the specular part of the light, that bounces off and it still has remnants of the polarization of when it hit the surface and kept going. Yeah. And so if you put a polarizer that goes the other way, you can block that out, and that's how you reduce glare from very surfaces and stuff. And it's why polarized sunglasses are also like a lot of like fishermen apparently like swear by them, because they allow you to sort of see into water, because it basically kind of eliminates a huge amount of the light that's reflecting just right off the surface, and you see the light that is instead reflecting from and scattering off from inside the water. But you could also do it by just not having that part be exposed to your detector. Like you could literally put something, that just blocks it out, and then put like white walls everywhere around it. And then the light will then bounce off the walls and stuff again and into your detector or your eye or whatever. And that's kind of like what integrating spheres are. So like I Googled diffuse specular reflection. Oftentimes you'll like have a sample and you'll put this sample in a big sphere that has a detector on one little side, and the sphere basically just has the light bounce around so that it like goes through the sample or bounces off the sample a whole bunch of times, and it gets thoroughly scrambled before eventually making its way into your detector.
Gotcha. So any questions from the two ladies in the chat on the panel?
I swear to God, if somebody asked me how magnets work.
How do I get my green laser that I've supplied, that I've kind of encased in a bunch of magnets to burn through walls? Never mind.
Tap, should I have instructed the other panelists to not use the M word?
I feel like that would have been kind, yeah. Why are you encasing your laser in magnets?
Well, so I can magnetize the beam.
That's
So-
not how beams work. That's not how laser beams
No.
work.
If you magnetize a laser beam strong enough, okay, it will go out of your device. It will go to the closest object, and it will not reflect from there. It will become part of the object because it is magnetized.
There is a version of that I can steel man into something that's true, which is that we use these things called optical isolators. Optical isolators, the job of an optical isolator is you have a laser, the light comes out of the laser, you don't want that light to bounce off of the optics and stuff downstream and go back into the laser, because that can because then what you want is you want the light to build up in the laser and then a little bit of it escapes. You don't want to have light coming back in and sort of scrambling with the light that's kind of building up and amplifying the L in the word laser.
That's
in the word laser.
That's exactly why I magnetized my green laser.
Yeah, so you send the light out, and you have an optical isolator, and what that does is the light goes through, and then any light that bounces back can't go back through the isolator. It's a one-way valve for light, and it works on the process of Faraday rotation. And Faraday rotation works by having some medium in the isolator, and when the light is going through that medium and there is a strong magnetic field, it rotates the polarization so that now when it bounces off something, it as it tries to go back through, the Faraday rotation of the polarization means that it gets blocked by a polarizer. So literally, you by putting a strong magnet, you're making the light go out and not be able to come back in, which is very much like what you described. And I hate that you made me steel man that.
Oh, she
Okay.
didn't make you, Tap.
Yeah. Well, I felt obliged.
How many cat toys would I need to strap together to take down an alien battle cruiser orbiting near Saturn?
I don't know.
I have
Possibly more than exist.
I think you're just the person I'm happy to have access to at this time, so I can sound an idea I've had with you. Now, let me just see if I can put this together in my head. What we could do to absolutely solve global warming, besides stop with those nasty carbon things and stuff. What we could get a magnet big enough, okay, and we could put it on top of the Earth and drag the Earth further away from the sun to cool it down. That would work, wouldn't
it? Short answer, no. That wouldn't work. Long answer, what's holding the magnet?
Well, cables, duh.
What are the cables attached to?
Well, a metal thing.
Oh, what metal thing? Where?
The metal thing that you put on the moon.
Okay, so we're mounting a magnet on the moon, and we're using the moon as a stable thing to yank the Earth. Okay, yeah. So the Earth is a lot bigger than the moon, so that's not going to work.
Well, the magnet's bigger than the moon. Duh.
Okay, where did you get this magnet?
Well, you get in contact with people in Germany, and they make some really kick-ass neodymium magnets.
Okay.
Not that kick-ass, they don't.
Okay, so how many refrigerator magnets would I need to pull said battle cruiser out of orbit?
Oh gosh, I'd say at least 40 or 50.
Well, that is true. It would be at least that amount. I suppose the correct answer would be enough. Or how big are these magnets?
If we don't do something about that battle cruiser, they're going to enslave all you people down here. You got to give me some way to take it out.
I'm unconcerned.
Do you know anything about air circulation vents for an HVAC system on a, say, Death Star?
I had friends on that thing. That's not true. I don't have friends.
Well, not anymore since they blew it up.
Somebody put a question in the chat a little earlier that kind of caught my eye. How do magnets work?
Demonically. Magnets work by moving electric charges and changing electric fields as prescribed by Maxwell's laws. That is a very limited answer that does describe, in a sense, most of the topic from a particular limited point of view, but there are a lot of aspects of particular sort of ways and types of magnetism, because magnetism is also, it's a property of materials, and it can arise in different ways, and some of those we do not understand very well.
Magnets drag all the warmth through styrofoam and plastic. That's why you have to have a bunch of them on your fridge to keep it cold in there.
How do you make a monopole magnet?
Well, if I knew, I would do it and I would win a Nobel Prize. You get a monopole, you get a magnetic monopole, and that's easier said than done because they probably don't exist. But they should exist, sort of. Like a lot of things in physics would make a lot more sense if we found just one magnetic monopole. And there was an experiment in the 70s where this guy, very, very well respected, even after this detection, and I don't remember exactly the design of the experiment, but the design, it was a well-designed experiment from a well-respected physicist, and it was designed to basically, it had a loop of wire, and if a magnetic monopole went through, then you would get a permanent sort of change in voltage that could only happen if there was a monopole, because otherwise you would have the one sort of pole of the magnet go through, and then the other pole would undo that little blip. And set this thing up and just sort of had it run, collecting data for months or years or something, and it got one. And a guy goes, writes it up, publishes it. It's the only time this has ever been found, and so people are like, whoa, hold on, and took it seriously and tried to find it again, and nobody ever saw another detection. So probably there was some glitch somehow, and the guy did not this did not ruin his reputation, because it, when I guess the work was published or something, it was very well he sort of tempered his things. He was measurement consistent with this thing, but didn't go out and claim for sure I have done it, because that's a way to get people to not,
Look, all you need is one small wheel that moves as a rope passes over it. Then you've got a monopoly.
And also a hurdy-gurdy, potentially.
Monopole magnets generally hang out with antimatter, and you really only see them in the bizarro world universe.
Well, antimatter, we have a lot more antimatter that we can control and manipulate and do stuff with than we do monopoles because we don't have any. But there was this saying, and there have been, subsequent to that detection, there have been calculations that suggest that monopoles are actually, like, if they exist, they should be very, very, very rare. Like, literally, there should only be one or two in, like, the size of the observable universe. And so there was a joke that there really was, there was one, and he found it. And it's never going to get found again because, you know.
Well, I've got a couple of kids who call me auntie, and I matter.
Man, you guys, here I am trying to take these words seriously, mostly, not Magnus.
Hey, it's okay. You only need to do it for another 5 minutes, and then we go to Bree.
I never took physics.
I never took chemistry or stats in college.
I took chemistry several times. Still never got credit for it.
I took physics in high school, but the teacher hated me, even though I had excelled in every math class or every science class I'd ever had up to that point.
I was so
Never
bad at
prove the
physics.
teacher wrong. It'll screw your grade.
I was so bad at, I said physics, I was wrong. I was so bad at chemistry that I failed it 3 times, even though I was having an affair with the teacher.
Wow.
This college, okay, we're all adults.
Yeah, no, I'm not judging you or the teacher. I'm kind of judging your schoolwork though.
No, I didn't take it 3 times. I just took it once, but I failed it miserably because I am probably one of the worst people on earth with mathematics. But I can spell the word mathematics, and I write good. Okay, write well.
I wasn't
gonna
gonna say
say.
anything. I have a lane and I'm gonna stay in it.
I like to play grammar Nazi on TikTok and other things just because it annoys the fuck out of anal retentive people.
You know, but now we've got to find a better name for that, because MAGA has given Nazis such a bad name.
Well, a grammar Christian, a grammar Jesus.
Grammar Yahweh.
There, Ancher's. You can read Ancher's critique of my writing down there. She's the only person that's read my writing, but
Yep. Well, I've read some pieces of your writing. You've posted some multi-page things to Twitter.
Dr. Weasel. I like that, Dr. Weasel. Oh, see, now I forgot. Damn it. It's getting old.
Story
Shit.
of my life.
Yeah, well, getting old is a mistake. Don't do it.
Ah, it's too late. I fucked up big time this time.
I mean, on the one hand, I can't really compare getting old to the alternative. That being said, the alternative doesn't have a 90-day free trial period. So
Yeah.
I'm not ready for the alternative yet. I'll stick with the growing older for now.
Yeah, if you take the alternative, then beyond that point, you're kind of out of options.
Well, to be clear, in my head, the alternative is growing young, becoming younger. Like if you could, I think you guys are talking about the alternative being death, but
Yeah.
no, but
you
growing
can't say
old,
the D word,
the opposite of that is not dying; it's growing young. So, and you just want to, if you just toggle back and forth between, just go back and forth through your 20s and 30s.
Yeah, it's not the opposite of it. It's just the only way we know to stop growing older is to die.
When I was a kid, I wondered why people die in their 70s. I'm beginning to find out really fast.
I thought it was just because old people never turn their air conditioner down to 68.
Oh no, I go for 65 myself. Oh, Ember is trying to get us out of here.
Yeah. So, shall we?
Yep, Bree is ready to start.
Like, shall we say our farewells on the way out, or just cut?
Well, if you just cut it off mid-sentence, then this will be your unfinished stream.
Do it. Ah, beautiful.
And isn't everything in the world unfinished except for that which is in Finland? I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Don't lie.
You're right.
Yeah, well, I don't actually know if Bree's ready, but it does say that it's time for her to start.
Well, good night, chat. It was wonderful having you. Journey, thank you very much for inviting me to your premiere stream. We hope that there will be many, many more.
You are certainly very, very welcome.
You are sure to have many better guests, but you will never have any others who are the first.
And you can contact me later for that episode you talked about wanting to do on sexual positions of the Kama Sutra.
That had slipped my mind, to be perfectly honest. See, I did want to, well, a quick update about the Let Freedom Ring project. There's 3 people still outstanding on that. And one of them is next. So,
yep.
See, I will take us all off the stage, and I'll put the closing video up.
Okay, yeah, Bree's intro is playing now.
Good night, all.
Good night.